Hey, what's going on, team? In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you how I made a little bit over $1,200 day trading Tesla. On top of that, I still have my swing trade with Tesla. So one of the first things that I want to talk about is I'm actually really happy that I'm able to catch it here within this live stream. I'm actually going to be adding $100 more to my position, and this is something that I'm going to explain in detail. And what? One second. This is pretty cool though. I'm glad that you guys are able to catch this within the live stream. Yeah, let's go for it. There we go. So one of the things so you just saw me add another 100 shares. So you guys should be able to see my overall P&L on the day. So it shows that I'm up $1,500. I want you guys to know that 91 shares of this is my swing trade position on Tesla, which means that I'm not selling those 91 shares just yet. So the open and the day, I want you guys to subtract what kind of I have on the open. Although I am kind of up as of right now. It's kind of confusing, right? 91 shares. What I'm really up, I'll show you guys right now, is I have 200 shares that I'm day trading with. And that's what I've been day trading with all morning. I can show you guys my overall P&L on the day, showing you guys that I have $1,500, the 291 shares. And again, you guys can do the math. That's not a small position size, but I want to show you guys exactly what it is that I'm doing. So one of the biggest, and this isn't, Tesla is irrelevant, right? Tesla, if you look at it on the 180-day chart, it's still descending. It's not something that you possibly even want to swing trade. And I'm telling you this as someone that's currently in that position. As of right now, it's still trending below the EMA line. The overall SMA line is pointing down. The reason that I plan to take that swing trade position, or the reason I took that swing trade position and plan to invest more in Tesla, is because of the value that I see in the overall company, which is different than just on the technical standpoint. And based on the current price where it's at right now, I think that I could sell it for more just due to recent news. But what I wanted to talk about is, I'm going to keep it super short and simple, is how I day trade Tesla. So like you guys saw, I was already in a position, so I added 100 shares within this live stream. As Tesla began to sell off and approach the middle VWAP, which could act as a potential support around this general area, that's where I took my first position of Tesla with 100 shares. Not necessarily something that I would always encourage new traders, but I like to average up. And what that means is sometimes I try to find the bottom, but majority of the times what I like to do, and what I would think would be a more effective and more conservative approach, is when Tesla begins, or any stock that you're trading, right, begins to show signs. So we talk about this all the time in Learn, Plan, Profit. They're the group that gets to watch me trade live every morning, and that's that second link in the description if you want to check that out to learn more about it. But when something becomes super overbought, I sold Tesla when it was right around, I think a little bit above 270. The Learn, Plan, Profit group got to see me sell my position. It began to sell off. It began to sell off. It began to sell off. The more you wait for the sell-off, the more margin of profit you can build for yourself for the recovery. So think about that, right? Step one. I thought that I could get in for a good position on Tesla. I saw the RSI begin to consolidate a little bit. I took my first position above 268. It began to sell off, and it still went down to lows of 267. I feel like a very common habit for a lot of new traders is to continue to add to your position as something begins to sell off. And ask yourself, 100% ask yourself, you don't have to do anything that I'm doing, but ask yourself, does it make sense to add more, right? To invest more into a position that's losing you money? Does that make sense for the sake of just lowering your average purchase price, hoping that you get a better deal? I think that, Tesla found a pretty solid support during, the day around 267. That's what I think. It doesn't mean that it can't go any lower. So if Tesla begins to sell off and it continues to sell off, I have to have some form of risk management in mind. And instead of adding to my position as this thing continues to sell off, what I did is, like you saw in this live stream, right? I'm really happy that I was able to catch it in this live stream. What I do is I wait for it to begin to make higher highs, to change its direction. What was it doing? It was selling off. I waited to build that margin of profit, so I took my first position, right? So forget about how many shares I bought. Let's say you have $1,000. You wait for the sell-off. Instead of buying $1,000 at the lowest price point that you think it's going to make, your opinion and where you think it's going to be the lowest point is irrelevant, right? So what I do, and just like mine, right? What I do is I try to split it up into like 2 to 3 positions, meaning that I'll take so with $1,000, I'll take a 300 share position size, or $300 position size, or at a price point that I think is a good deal, right? Where it's almost finding a support, where it's beginning to consolidate. I'll buy here with $300. then as it begins to show signs of change of direction and begins to show signs of an uptrend, it breaks above the middle VWAP, it breaks above the EMA line, and begins to make higher highs. I like that. It changes direction, it's showing signs of growth, it's making me money. So I'm going to add another $300, right? And then if the pattern continues, this is where you decide, do I want to continue to add more because the margin of profit is worth it? Or do I want to just leave it at that and then sell at 270 because the margin of profit is not worth it and just close out your position? This is the different things that I think a lot of new traders don't necessarily take into consideration. Is they're always thinking about getting in at the lowest price point. One of the biggest focuses that I have is, yeah, I like getting good deals too. But one of the biggest things that I like to focus on is making sure, especially with my day trades, that I'm trading something that's showing signs of an uptrend and actually making me money. So what I do is, again, if I split it up into 3 positions, I will go in with my first position a little bit more freely. This is my approach and what I do. But again, I've done this for a longer period of time. So if you don't think that you're that comfortable taking a position freely before the confirmation, then one of the things that we actually encourage our Learn Plan Profit members to do and to practice and see if it works for you is wait for the confirmation. So don't actually take your first position until it begins to change direction. And then as it continues to show signs of higher highs, maybe when it breaks above the EMA line, then maybe you can add that secondary position and just leave it at that. The biggest thing that differentiates that approach of trading to what I think a lot of beginners do is don't care about averaging down. If you want to continue to add more to your position size as something is losing you money, just ask yourself, does that make sense? Does that make sense? If it does, then I wish you the best of luck. But if it doesn't, and you've been doing that and you want to kind of change your approach, try it with paper trading or simulation trading. Practice it. Practice makes perfect, and refine your trading style. See if you feel more comfortable slowly adding more to your position size as something continues to trend up. One of the things that you need to take into consideration is as you begin to average up with your position size and add more to your position, your average purchase price goes up. So you want to make sure that where your target sell price is, right, still is high enough and the margin of profit is high enough that it makes sense to add more to your position size. If you're so close to the resistance and you still have, one more average up to take, forget about it. Don't even take that position because the margin of profit isn't worth it. I hope that this video makes sense, and I hope that it can guide you in the right direction, or at least spark some interest on how it is that I day trade. I put the stock Tesla in the title because obviously it's relevant, but I want you guys to know that your day trade or this approach has absolutely nothing to do with Tesla. It's an approach that I do every single day. You can ask any Learn Plan Profit member. They get to see me trade live every single day, Monday through Friday. And it's something that I do on a regular basis. I add my initial position and I'll begin to add more to my position if it continues to show signs of an uptrend. The cool thing about this is that if it begins to sell off, because my position size is 1/3 of what a normal position size would be, then I can just manage my risk, and the dollar value at risk and how much I lose is that much less, making me feel that much more comfortable. Again, that's my approach. It doesn't mean that you specifically have to do it. I just wanted to share it with you guys. If you want to practice it with paper trading or trading on demand, I would love to hear some feedback on your approach or your experience. So I want to thank you guys again so much for your stocks. I just read a comment. So how do you find quality stocks? There's actually a little response that I had to that, and I feel like a lot of new traders are so focused. I talked about this in the Learn Plan Profit live stream. I think a lot of people are so focused as they're just getting started to find how to scan for stocks, all these crazy momentum stocks. I would ignore all that noise. I would find a niche within the market, as in maybe tech, maybe marijuana, cannabis, right? Natural gas, gold, crude oil. Find your niche within the market, become very well versed within that niche, and understand the different factors that will influence and drive the price up and down for that stock. Ignore all the different noise and just focus on what you actually understand within the market. I think that will allow you, so once you find that niche, then you can find a series of stocks or ETFs that revolve around that niche, and making it that much easier for you to always focus on quality stocks that make sense to you, that are actually making you money. That would be my approach. I want to thank you guys again so much for your time. I really hope I earned your thumbs up. Hope you guys absolutely kill it today. Thank you guys again for watching this video. I hope you guys can subscribe. And if you guys see value in the way that I trade, feel free to browse around my other YouTube videos. I would love the opportunity to work with you guys on a closer basis. Again, the TechBud Staycation, which means that you spend 2 days with me and the team here at the TechBuds house. You're going to be trading right beside me. That's going to end March 31st. So make sure that if you do want to partake in that, the second link in the description, that's that Learn Plan Profit lesson library. You can watch me trade live every day. You have lifetime access to the Learn Plan Profit course. And on top of that, you have the ability to work with me on an everyday basis and the Learn Plan Profit team and ask questions as they come. Thank you guys again. And like always, continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be your drive to success. Hope you guys have an amazing and beautiful rest of your day. Make someone smile today. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.